Hello Achievers, today we are still in New York with a new guest. He is young, he is awesome, and he is Bobby Goshale, sorry for the pronunciation, CEO at Flood, and I'm very happy he is here because he will answer my question on how he built his own company. And hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
So I'll let you to introduce yourself. You will do better than me.
My name is Bobby Goshale. I am the founder of a company called Flood. I'm based out of New York City, and as you said, I'm a young entrepreneur. I just moved out of here from California, pursuing the dream that all entrepreneurs do: to build something amazing, to build something big, and to have fun doing it. So, yeah, it's an interesting.
So what's the goal? How can you share me what is Flood?
So Flood is, the mission of Flood is to make 600 million knowledge workers, so people that work in front of a computer, that use their phones to work, designers, developers, marketers, salespeople, HR people, stuff like that, to make them smarter about their jobs, to make them smarter about their industries. And it's a big, wild undertaking. And our business is a tech company. And we've built technology to facilitate the sharing of knowledge inside of a company.
And who are your customers, your clients?
You want me to name names of customers, or
yes,
or what kind of companies?
Yes.
So today we spend a lot of our efforts working with consulting companies,
Okay.
With digital marketing agencies, financial services companies. So basically any business where having a lot of information is a competitive advantage, right? Those are the businesses we focus on.
And why they work with you?
Well, again, for them, in their industry, knowledge is their bread and butter. So if they're not more informed than their competitors, then they might lose a really important sale. Or it gives them, it doesn't give them the competitive edge that they need when they walk into a new client's office to give them more information about their industry, or to give them some information about industry trends and insights, stuff like that. So, so these businesses, information is at their core. It's the most important thing for them, being able to access information, being able to share that information, and ultimately turning that information into knowledge, which is key. That's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to we don't just want to give people a bunch of content. We want them to convert it into knowledge. It's their bread and butter. It's what makes them or breaks them. So they spend their time and energy with us to help them with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just before we were talking about the Purple Co, I have a question in mind. What is the Purple Co of Flood? Do you know?
What makes us stand out?
Yes.
Basically. Well, we're competing in an industry with some significantly large companies like Microsoft and Salesforce and IBM. And we are constantly working to figure out how to do less with our platform, which is a little bit, it's an interesting notion, because you think that a platform or a piece of technology that has a lot of features in it, right? Or it does so many things. That's what people really want, right? They want a full featured platform. And I think we're the purple cow in the industry because we flipped that on its head and we said, well, let's remove a bunch of features and let's focus on making it really clear on how to use, really simple and really beautiful. And I just don't think most companies in our space do that. So when businesses choose to work with us, it really is because our platform is so much easier to understand, right? It's not because we've got a big company name on our website, or because we have 100 features that every other platform has. It's because we do less, but we do a lot more with less. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that makes us pretty different in this space.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. I would like to know, how did you overcome the belief that you are too young to build your own company? Because a lot of youth and young people maybe have an idea, have some of them have dreams, but maybe their environment tells them, you can't do that, you are too young, it's a crisis, you will fail.
Yeah. For as long as I can remember, I've been trying to start businesses. And the first business I ever started, I was actually 12 years old. Actually, I might have been 10 years old. Okay, I'll tell you what I did. I used to come back home from school. I used to take a piece of paper and draw some Disney cartoons. And this was in India. I was born and raised in India. I used to draw Disney cartoons. I used to color them in. And I used to wait till 4 o'clock in the evening until people came back from work. And I stood in an elevator in my building. And I used to try and sell the people my drawings as soon as they walked into the elevator and before they reached their floor in the building, and the elevators were slow, so I had enough time to try and sell them the cartoon. And
so you did elevator pitch at the age of
and that's what's funny about it, is basically doing elevator pitches since I was 10 years old. I think that was pretty funny. So I don't know if I ever thought that I was too young really to start a business. It's not
because maybe you started before the people can say you that.
Yeah, I think so. And no one ever, but by the way, no one also ever told me it's too difficult. You know, I feel like a lot of times people tell a younger person, well, listen, don't start a business yet, go to school, get a degree, go work in a big company for a little while, and then you figure out what to do with your life. But I don't think anyone ever told me, you know, don't start a business, it's too difficult. So I didn't know. So I just did it because from the inside.
Why nobody said that for you?
I just don't think in India, where I was raised, no one there in the community that I was from started a business, so they had no idea. So they had no experience. I mean, they wouldn't know whether or not it was difficult, right? Because this was
yes, but it's awesome because a lot of people don't know a lot of things, but they judge.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think anyone ever judged me.
No, it's cool. It's cool to for me. It's cool to see that in India the people don't know some things, but okay, try.
Yeah, you know, and that's so weird that you said that. I can't remember a single instance. I think I got more encouragement than anything. I mean, my drawings were horrible, and people wanted to buy them. I think just to support, just to support the fact that I was standing in an elevator at 4 o'clock in the evening trying to sell it. I don't think I ever heard from anyone, you can't do it, you're too young, it's too difficult. So I just didn't know. And of course, now starting a real business, I know it's very difficult, but I think that can be overcome with many things like focus and dedication and passion and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. What could be the mistakes we have to avoid to build a company?
The mistakes we have to avoid to build a company.
I can say my question differently. What are the things you do differently now than the beginning?
Speaking from my personal background, I think you should look to hire slower. Maybe that's one of the mistakes I did. Hired too quickly. I think you should have just 100% focus, and that's not to say in my background, I never had focus in the past. I just think that's a given. If you're starting a company, the first mistake you can make is thinking so big and wanting to do everything, right? Just being really clear on what your agenda is, and then being willing to change that agenda, because the environment around you and the game around you changes every single day, especially in our business, in the tech world. Things change all the time, right? So being able to have that agenda, being flexible around the agenda, hiring the people that could sustain heavy blows, because you start a company at the earliest stages, that's when things are the most difficult. That's when you have there's no guarantees, there's only opportunities. That's the way you look at it, right? You have absolutely no guarantees, but if you focus, there's plenty of opportunities. And I think you have to find people who believe that.
And how do you develop your focus?
I don't know that I've fully developed it yet. I'm still working on it. The way I work on it, I use things like a calendar. being able to, something as simple as a calendar, marking every single thing I want to do over the course of many weeks. But I spend my entire Sundays, every single Sunday, preparing for the entire week, right? And
Cool.
my wife thinks I'm crazy because I lose my Sunday, but I think it's really important for people to spend some time away from work to plan for work. And I think people just often, they dive in without any real planning. I think planning goes a long way in that focus.
And how do you manage your schedule? Because you can, for example, I'm in New York, and how do you manage your free time, your lifetime? Yes, you can schedule a lot of things, but you will not have any opportunities because it's full.
Because
So-
it's always full.
Yes, how do you manage that?
I think that's probably the place where I'm the worst. I manage my schedule horribly. Yeah, I mean, I spend most of my time working. So, most of my days go into meetings or blocking out time to design or, blocking out time to do numbers for the company, accounting, stuff like that. I got to be honest with you, I'm pretty bad at managing my schedule. I mean, maybe I need an assistant. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty bad at it. I don't think people should take my advice on managing a schedule.
Yeah, but you are doing something very, maybe more powerful than have the ability to schedule. You are very authentic. It's good.
Well, thank you.
And I think it's a powerful key. So, what can you, if you would like to have to make a, do you want to make a change in the way you manage your schedule?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet.
Not yet, because I don't know. I kind of like the way I do my schedule now. I mean, it's, I don't plan things too far in advance.
But it works. Maybe it's the way you have
works.
to do.
It's organized chaos, right? It's chaotic, but I'm always on time to my meetings. I always get things done on a deadline. It works for me, right? I don't know if I tweak something, maybe it won't. And now is not the time for me to figure out whether or not something will or won't work. I just want to go with what works because I've got so much to do. I don't know, maybe you could help me with that, David. Maybe you could give me some tips on my schedule and how I could do things better.
I'm not the best on how to schedule something.
I know, it's just...
Maybe I'm very, very good on how to get motivation and self-confidence, but I have to learn. That's why I question.
Oh man, I'm ruining this already. I'm not giving you any insights on... Well, listen, I mean, I don't know. I think scheduling should be a skill everyone can learn and figure out. I think it's a basic skill that every entrepreneur should have.
So, for example, we have to learn how to schedule.
Yeah.
What can we do to learn that for the next year?
What can we do together?
Together or alone? What can we do?
What can we do?
What can you do if you would like?
Maybe I can. Maybe one of the things to do is this might be one of those times where you look in the past. You look at the calendar in the past and you try and figure out opportunities that were missed. For example, if I had missed this meeting with you, it would count as an opportunity missed to speak to a great person like yourself, right? Cool. And try to figure out, well, what the heck happened, right? And if it was within my control not to miss that opportunity, then maybe you could fix it that way. I don't know, maybe this is just one of those things where you need to look back and
learn from your past experiences.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a problem. Scheduling's a problem for me. I'm glad that you brought it up. Now I know I've got to fix that.
So, according to you, in what field do you have skills? If it's not in scheduling, where you are good?
Yes, that's a good question. Definitely in designing. I like to think that I've been doing designing since I was 16 years old, and I've taught myself how to design things for products. So I think I'm pretty good at that.
Yes.
I think I'm pretty good at starting something and finishing it. I think that's so key, right? A lot of people, they start something and then they have this excitement and things just go at a sugar high and then they just drop off and they never finish things off.
Yes, it's very interesting. Yeah, what advice can you give to finish something, to go until the end?
I think it all comes down to the first mindset that you have when you enter the project. It can't just be about that initial excitement. You've got to make a deal with yourself that you're going to finish.
It's a commitment.
You've got to commit at the beginning, and it's such a simple thing, right? You go into something, you dive in without really thinking about it, you get so excited about it, but then you wake up the next morning, you're a little bit tired, then you look at the project and you're not so excited by it anymore and you just walk away from it. That's so easy to do. But I think when you commit and you lock yourself in and you hold yourself accountable every day, there's no way you won't finish. You'll finish. It might not be the best thing in the world when you finish, but you'll finish. And I think that's something I believe in. I think anyone that starts something, you've got to be able to finish. Seth Godin, who you said you interviewed, there was a book that he wrote. I think it was called Quitter or Quit. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know the book I'm talking about? Or How to Quit, or When to Quit, or Don't Quit. The point that he was making in that book was quitting isn't bad if you quit at the right time, right? But I feel like often people get to a point where they quit too early. And that's, I think, the biggest shame when it comes to, starting a project, not being able to fulfill it. I think that's a big shame in the human race. I don't know what it is about people that makes them not want to finish something. Yeah.
So what do you do? Because you're right, at the beginning you feel excitement. It's a new project, but you will meet problems and difficulties and bad energy. What do you do at this time, at this moment when you want to stop it? What do you do?
The moment when my brain's telling me don't go any further.
Yes.
Stop, just walk away, don't finish.
Maybe
at that moment.
In this moment, did you have some fears? Did I have take the good choice or the good project? Maybe I'm not on the right way.
By the way, not being on the right way doesn't mean you quit. It just means you change course, right? Changing course isn't quitting. Changing course is you're still getting there. You just took a different train to get there. That's okay. You can hop trains as much as you want to get to your final destination. What you don't want to do is get off a train and not get back on another one, right? So what I do to make sure I never get to the point where I don't get on another train to get to my destination is, again, I go back to my initial mindset. If I spent all this time starting something, I better be sure that I want to finish it, right? I tend not to get...
So it begins before the start.
But to me, it begins at the beginning. It really does. And I don't get excited about things I don't want to do. And if I want to do them, I'm going to do them, and I'm going to see it through. Every big decision that I can think of that I've made for my professional career, I made because I was excited about it, and I saw it through.
You take a commitment with yourself only or with others.
Ooh, good question. I always get others involved, so they hold me accountable. Right? That's another way. When other people have a lot at stake, when they've put in all this time and effort, and if you walk away from it, shame on you. You can't do that. Right?
Yes.
No one will ever want to work with you. No one will respect you. No one will take you seriously as a professional. Get others involved. That's a great way to keep yourself motivated and going. Absolutely.
And during the bad feeling, do you question yourself differently? Do you do something with your physiology? What do you do when... did you have this kind of moment?
Many times.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what do you do at this moment when you want to stop?
I usually go for a 5-mile walk. I just get out of the house and I walk and I clear my brain.
Immediately?
Immediately.
Yes?
Immediately.
It's
this past winter. I just moved out of California to New York. And great weather in California, horrible winter in New York. And I found myself many times a week leaving the house, walking in the snow for a long time. Because when you don't give yourself room to have excuses, if you just clear your brain, for me, walking works, right? If I just clear my brain, I could come back with a whole new perspective. I think that's so key. I don't know at what point I figured out that I like to walk, frankly, because I remember when I was younger, I hated walking all over the place. But suddenly, I walk all the time. I find time in the day to just get away and walk and clear my head.
So how many times do you wait for to walk?
Well, I personally go for a walk now every evening, right? So I always a few miles every evening, every single evening, right at the end of the workday. And it gives me perspective. And I try not to do phone calls. I try not to look at my phone. I maybe listen to a podcast or I listen to music or something, anything to get my head away from a problem that I've been facing at work or a problem I'm trying to solve that I haven't been able to solve yet. It works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a problem and you go to walk. That's right. And you listen to podcasts who help you to stay.
I listen to Seth Godin.
That's right.
Absolutely. I listen to motivational podcasts all the time. He's one of my favorites. He's a legend.
Yes, he is.
He's a legend. Yeah.
Cool.
I listen to. By the way, I never have time to read books. On my walks, I
listen a lot of podcasts.
I listen to podcasts and I listen to books. I've downloaded so many audiobooks.
Cool.
I listen to so many audiobooks.
So for you, it's it's one of the key of success.
I think so.
Okay, cool. I would like to ask you some short questions, so short answers too. What is your favorite quote?
There's a quote by Gary Hamel in the Harvard Business Review. I'm not going to get this quote right, but something to the effect of, you can be sure that there's an entrepreneur in some basement forging a bullet with your company's name on it.
Cool.
And when that bullet leaves the barrel, you can't dodge it. So you better be the one that shoots first. And the point of that quote, I love that quote because it embodies everything a young entrepreneur is trying to do. You've got these big companies out there doing big things, but perhaps not doing them well enough. And there's young entrepreneurs in a basement trying to outdo those large companies. And that's essentially what that quote is, right? I don't know, that quote just stuck with me for a long time because I think it just embodies everything that the entrepreneurs strive to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is your favorite book?
Everything You Know Is Wrong. It's a nonfiction book. I forget who wrote it, but it's got all these details about everything you know and flips it on its head and tells you the facts about something. Right?
Okay. What is your favorite music?
Electronic music.
Okay.
Works out.
Okay. What is your favorite mentor? It's a hard question, maybe.
It is a hard question. I don't have a personal mentor. In fact, I'm looking for a mentor. But again, I go back to Seth Godin because he's one of the people I've read up on so often that I just take all my insights from him. I've never met him, never spoken to him, never emailed with him, but he's my guiding light in a way. Yeah.
If I can help you to introduce you, I will do.
Oh.
What was the decision? What was the best decision you took in the past that helps you to succeed?
The best decision I've taken for my professional life is focusing my time on a real skill as opposed to, for me, my skill is design. I'm learning a tool, learning how to use it really well, and being able to create things with it, I think was maybe the best decision I ever made for my professional career. It's taken me in all these great directions that I never imagined. These answers are so long. I'm so sorry. I'll be shorter.
It's cool. And you are talking about design, and maybe Steve Jobs inspire you?
Not for design, but yes, he's an inspiration. I love his history. Steve Jobs' history to me is such a great. He's got such an amazing and important story for every entrepreneur that struggles, that's had it so difficult, right? Where you're literally down on your knees and you're crying because you have no idea what to do. And he's the person, you look to for that. So I don't look to him for design because he's got a genius in design, but I think there's other people around him that I think are probably a little bit more
Cool.
inspirational when it comes to that.
But he used well his design ability to grow his own company.
Oh, absolutely. He uses his intuition to grow his company, his design intuition to grow his company. Again, I think that's amazing. But to me, that's not what I love about Steve Jobs.
And do you use your intuition?
Every designer uses his intuition.
How do you do that?
Well, it's taste, right? Every designer has taste. Some have really good taste. Some have poor taste. But your intuition is birthed from your experiences. I like to think that I've had a pretty eclectic life so far for being, 28. And I could draw from all these different experiences. There's different countries I've been to, different languages I've learned, different people I've interacted with. I think that plays part in someone's intuition.
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you think everybody can develop the intuition?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's not only for women.
Not only for women. Not only for women. I think every single person can and should spend time trying to figure out how to trust themselves, trust their inside, trust their gut.
And do you use your intuition to make choice in your company?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Cool.
And by the way, I think every entrepreneur does, because we don't have any answers when we go into it. All we have is our intuition, and maybe some people around us that could give us, tidbits of information that might help us make a decision. But it always comes down to your intuition.
Cool.
Always.
It's cool.
Yeah. All right.
So it's my favorite question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very important question because I would love to help people to lose and to become a loser. So I would like to know, what are your advices to become a loser?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question because I think the world needs more losers. One of the best ways to do it, stay home and play video games.
Ah, yes.
I think that's so important. You need to stay home as often as possible. As often as possible.
Stay home.
Play video games. But it's important that you don't shower.
Okay.
Stay dirty. Eat a bunch of bad food.
Bad food it's important.
I think bad food is so important because it enriches your mind. You see.
Okay.
Don't interact with people.
No interaction.
Well, the thing is, when you interact with people, it gives you an edge. It makes you kind of cool. It makes you conversational. You don't want to do that. So don't interact with people and have a horrible demeanor about yourself, your health. Don't clip your nails. I mean, there's so many things you can do to be a loser. I mean, there's so many. Listen. This is horrible. I'm trying to be serious.
Yes, and what could be your last advices? Because we are talking about to be an average loser. I would like to help people to become the best loser.
Best loser.
So.
You don't want to be an average loser.
Your last advice, please. What we could do to start now.
I gotta say, David, this is not something I've thought about. Let me think about this for a second.
Yes.
I think to be the greatest loser, bum off of your parents for the rest of your life. Do you understand what that means, bumming off of your parents? That's an American term. What it means is mooch. Depend on your parents for everything.
Okay.
For the rest of your life. Stay with them. Expect them to feed you, clothe you forever.
It's your greatest advice.
But that's not great advice. How do you be the best loser? It's such a difficult question. That's just mediocre too. Staying with your parents. Most people do that still. No, you don't want to do that. That's not a great answer. Erase that. That's horrible. Give me some inspiration of answers that you've gotten in the past. I have never thought about this. This is such an interesting question. How would you recommend becoming the best loser? Let's start with you, David. What are some of the options that come to your mind?
I think I have a lot of advices to give you.
Okay, give me some advice.
Yes, my main advice I would like to give: take no time to decide what you want in your life.
Wow, that's good.
Yes, wait for the good time to take action.
Yes.
Yes.
Always wait for the good time. Always wait for the best moment.
Yes, wait for tomorrow.
Always.
Yes, always.
But because there's always tomorrow.
Yes, that's right.
Until there's no more tomorrow.
Yes. Wait for the perfect equation.
Mm.
Yes, I think it's a good way to start to become a loser. But you can do another thing if you want to start just after the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Interact with people who are loser too. It's the best way to learn quickly.
I have a question. Where can I find these people? I'm dying to meet them.
I think you have to open your ears and about the talking of, all around you, and if you listen to conversation about problems, bad things, how other people will fail, focus on it and will
100%.
Engage. You can talk with them and try to make them a friend.
I have one. I have a piece of advice.
Yes.
You're sparking some interest in my mind. There's a quote. I don't know if it's a famous quote in France or not, but in America, there's a quote that says, "It's better to be lucky than good. The harder you work, the luckier you get." I think to be the biggest loser,
Yes.
just wait for luck. Just wait to become lucky. Because when you're lucky, it's better to be lucky than good, right? So when you're lucky, things align and things just work out. Expect to be lucky. That's important too. You will be lucky. So just expect that one day, out of nowhere, you're going to wake up and the stars are going to align and angels will sing and you will be successful and, you know.
Thank you. I think it is your greatest advice.
Wait to be lucky.
So, learn from him and apply that, please. Thank you very much.
Good stuff, man.
Thank
That's
you.
great.